Welcome into this edition of the Volun Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my main guy, Billy. Billy, buddy, we've got a big one coming up tomorrow night, don't we? Or tonight, I guess.
Big game, man. We owe them a favor.
We do, man. That was we got to get them. We got to get them on their home court. You know, it seems like that's how it goes, though, man. We either beat them in Thompson-Boling and then go up and lose in Rupp, or they beat us in Thompson-Boling and we get them in Rupp. You know, there's a reason we're the only program in the NCAA that's got the most wins against them. So it's always a good game when these two get together. Always. Buddy, let's talk about Kentucky here just a little bit. They're 16-7 on the year, 12-2 at home. They get 86.7 points per game. That's good for third in the country. Good shooting team. Shoot 49% from the field. Owe, man, he ate us alive last game. He averages 16 a game and 1.5 steals. That's extra 2 possessions, you might as well say, for him. And then Jackson Robinson, that kid's good, man. He's young, but he's good.
Yes.
He's good.
Yes, he's a good kid, man. I'm like, when I heard he was transferring there, I was like, gosh, man, they just continue to get good players.
You know, when you've got the blue blood name of Kentucky, that's what's going to happen. It's good. It's good for college. It's good for college basketball if Kentucky's good. Let's just say it. I mean, we don't have to like them, but it's good for Kentucky basketball if they're good. They share the ball pretty well too, man. They average right at 18 assists per game. So, you know, good shooting team, sharing the ball well. Tells me we're gonna have to come up there with maybe a lunch pail mentality tomorrow night. You know, they get 40 rebounds a game too. And last game, that was one that was the difference in that game. They out rebounded us. They manhandled us on the boards quite a bit. But you know, we're at the point in the season though where we're 10 games into SEC play really, and their last 10 games they are 5-5, average right at 84 a game, 33 rebounds a game, 17 assists. So they've stayed pretty true to that. They get 3.4 blocks a game, and they give up 83.4. So they're just barely eking by in these games that they're winning. So tells me if we can, like I say, kind of bring some defense up to Rupp Arena tomorrow night, they're in trouble.
Well, that's key, man. We're going to have to keep them off the offensive boards, man. Like, that's where they get us at. That's how they beat us last game. They killed us on the boards, man. And like I told you, anybody that beat us on the board, that's when we lost our games, when we're getting killed on the boards, except for one game, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it's been, man. Talk about the Vols here just a little bit though. 20-4 on the season. But here's one that's interesting to me though. And it's a very small sample, but we're 1-2 in games decided by 3 points or fewer this season. That's foul shots, man. Free throws.
Yeah, and it could actually be better because there was. I'm trying to think, what was it? I think was that the Kentucky game that we
one of them was
we shot a 2 to 2 to make it like we shot a 3-pointer at the end of the game.
I think it was that one and maybe Auburn.
Yep, I think
maybe
Auburn. I do remember that. Yeah, we had a chance to tie the game up, but we went for the 3.
Our 4 losses on the year, 3 of the 4 have come out on the road at Vandy. That's one of the 2 losses we have that are in games decided by 3 points or fewer. At Florida, we know how that one went, and at Auburn. So there's your 2 losses right there in that stat. I think the one win that we've got on the season in a game like that is Illinois, with Jordan Gainey driving down on that layup and hit it as the buzzer went off. The 4th loss, team we're playing tomorrow night. So good chance to get a little bit of revenge there. On the season, we average 8.6 threes per game. That's the exact amount that Kentucky gives up. So little defense, maybe shoot just a touch better from behind the arc. I think that's a good recipe for a Vols win tomorrow night.
Well, we know it's going to be electric in that gym. You know, there's one of the biggest student around, man. They have a large student section.
Yes,
They get
yes.
rowdy in there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is always one of the best games though, man. It doesn't matter. Like it's kind of. I'm trying to think. Like you want to liken it to a football game almost. Like with Alabama. To me, going to Kentucky and beating Kentucky in Rupp is like going to Tuscaloosa and beating Alabama.
And that's correct because that's the standard. They're the A team. They've always been the best in the SEC with basketball. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just everybody has caught up with the situation, and it's hard for them to say that now.
Yes.
And of course, with the new coach, it's everything's changed.
With speaking on the new coach, I think he'll do really well up there. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This game's just not as much fun without watching Calipari get teed up at least once, because you knew it was coming.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was just a matter of when, not if.
It's exactly like you said. It's not the same without Nick Saban there now.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Hey,
that. It's still sweet to beat them though. So the Vols' last 10 games, we're 6-4. Lost or we score 67.7 a game, 33 rebounds. So we're even with Kentucky and SEC play on that front. We get 6.5 steals a game, 5.7 blocks though. So that tells me our big men are playing pretty good ball, playing good defense down low. I think teams are just shooting us. And on the front end of this 10 games, if you think about it, that's where we lost. That's where we lost our games. I mean, if you really think about it, out
that's
here,
it.
shooting 1 for 10 from 3, and then we hit the one, and we're like, we got to shoot 10 more. Like that's been the one knock I've had on this basketball team this year is we're either red hot or ice cold. And buddy, when we're ice cold, it's colder than witches hitting a brass bra. Like it's bad, you know. But we're winning games, so that's now on a good little run right here. We've shot 41% from the field over the last 10 games. Almost, you kind of want to see that number go up, but that's not a bad percentage. Defensively, though, that's how we're winning our games. Basically, let's call it 64 points per game is what we're giving up. And if you're giving up 64, you got a pretty good chance at winning. Because I mean, you'd like to think you're at least good for 70 a game on the low end. You know what I mean? So, man, what this game tomorrow night's going to come down to is who can dictate the pace. I think if the Vols can kind of slow it down, make it a half court game, we can run too. But I feel like when we have to run, we're taking quick and bad shots, and we don't need to do that.
I'm with you there, man. We gotta turn it to a half court game because fast break, trying to keep up with people, and you have Lanier out there shooting those Steph Curry threes all the time. And gosh, I love him. The fact that he's a dynamic player that can shoot the ball, but sometimes he just throw up something. I'm like, no, don't do that. Just wait for the layup.
He's got a silky smooth shot though, man. Like it's
most
but
definitely
it's
different.
one of those things, like kind of like you say, it's like watching your kid play basketball. You're like, God, no, don't do that. Okay, good shot when it falls. But I feel like we need the one thing I do want to see, especially in this game tomorrow night, is let's go to the rack more. Milicic is a good driver. He's physical. We've got Okpara. I'd like to see us get that high pick and roll going again, because I don't feel like we're seeing that as much. I feel like we're shooting a lot of, they're good shots though. I'm not going to sit here I don't feel like we take a lot of bad shots. I feel like we miss a lot of good shots,
And I'll tell you though, like you said, only time I've noticed we do that is when we're on fast breaks and we're running with the other team, trying to keep up with their shots, and we do those boneheaded shots we shouldn't take. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
we can just play the half court game, slow it down, I think we have a big chance of getting this win back.
Yes, and we need it. We talked about it the last time we done a little bit of basketball talk here, and we were mid pack in the SEC, but we played everybody ahead of us, and we're knocking them off. one by one. We just got to kind of keep this this ball rolling here. Some things I guess we really need to know. Kentucky did get us last time 78-73. I feel like if the score's kind of close to that, maybe knock 10 off, Vols are going to come out of Rupp with a win. We mentioned it earlier too. No other program owns as many wins all time versus Kentucky. Let's talk about the spread though, man. The spread on that one, it's only a point. Basically, it's pick 'em.
Yep. I mean, it's gonna be one of those close games. It's gonna be who is, of course, shooting the best. But for it to be that low and it's a away game, that's the respect the Vols have now. And
Yeah.
and forever that we can say that the Vols dominate this matchup now.
It's since Barnes has come to Tennessee, that matchup, I feel like I don't have the number right here in front of me, but I feel like it's started to sort of favor Tennessee more. But I'll also say this. I feel like Kentucky's also not had some of their better basketball teams that they've had since Barnes has been here. There's been a couple of years. I mean, shoot, one year they didn't even make the tournament, which was wild. But it's shifted a little bit more towards the good guys. The over under on this one is 147.5. Man, it's hard to not play the over on that, knowing how Kentucky plays. But and knowing how bad we shoot, though, sometimes it's like the under's not a bad play.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of points when you think about how if the Vols slow it down and go to half court.
Yeah.
We know, Kentucky, they want to run. So if I was looking at that, I'm going to take the under on that one. If I was to just off the top of the head, I will take it.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Money line though, it's 118 in favor, minus 118 for the Vols, minus 102 for Kentucky. Like I say, virtual pick 'em. As far as how people are placing their bets, 61% place their money on the Vols money line, 68% to cover the one. People are hammering that over though, buddy. The 87% of the bets placed are on that over.
Really? Wow.
Yes. Maybe the way we've shot the last couple of games, who knows? Trends, I don't know. But I'm kind of with you on this one. It's one of those, I think we go up there. We know how to make this game play into our hands, and I think that's what you'll see us do. But man, it's going to be a good one. Yeah. If I had to put together a same game parlay for this one though, man, what are you going to throw out there?
I'm most definitely going to ride with the Vols and the under if I touch this one.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe a little first half action. Take the over in the first half, the under on the game.
Yeah, because like I've noticed a trend with the Vols. Everybody that they have played, the second time around, if they lost the game now, the second time around, it's a totally different situation, no matter if it's a home or away game. The first half, the Vols come out lightning on fire. And I'm not sure if that's going to happen this weekend because it is at Rupp Arena. And Rupp is always a tough place to go, no matter who, anytime. They're always good at home. But I think we have the player and the team to go in and take the win.
I think we do too. And I think we got the coaching too. I mean, Rev Rick, baby. It's one of those things, though, man. If they ain't playing well, we'll see Ricky Dale, not Rev Rick, Ricky Dale Barnes. But, buddy, I think so. Outright, I think we've both said Vols tomorrow night. I want to say something though, real quick, before we put a bow on this one. How is it we win our two games this past week and we drop in the polls?
I'm going to keep saying it every single time, man. It doesn't matter how good we are. We can be undefeated and everybody lose. They will still put us number 2.
Yes, sir. I'd set you up for that one. I knew it was coming. I'd throw that oop up there for you. But buddy, I think we've kind of got into this one as much as we can get into it. We'll do a live tomorrow at some point before the game, maybe around noonish. everybody catch us on the lunch break. And we'll talk some more, maybe get some UK fans on here. That being said, let's end this one how we always do with a big old Go Vols, and let's send them back to the coal mines.
Yes, sir. Go Balls.
Back to the coal mines.